Yeah, it's just me in my shed with my iPod problem. Although, to be honest with you, iPods are not the main problem at the moment because the shed has been for some time leaking. Last time I was in, I put some of this kind of sealant around some of the joints from the inside because it was raining at the time and I didn't want to get wet by going outside. I think the next job is to go out onto the roof and stick some of this up and stop it coming in, because all this area here is wet. Just to kind of the roof joints, it's leaking. But I'm off for the weekend, so I wanted to do this video quickly before I go. And I may have look, it's so damp. I may have in recent videos been rather disparaging about the Ipod Nano. I'd like to recant anything bad I said about them, because this is an Ipod Nano 6th gen, and I've almost instantly fallen in love with it. My problem with the previous gens, I think it was only maybe the 4th one. This is a 6th gen, maybe the 4th gen that I had last time, which was the battery was trying to climb out of it. See that drip? And I was warning that, Ipod Nano batteries can kill you, but this 6th gen, quite some tale. I'm going to ramble a bit because there are various things associated with this which I need to tell you about. I thought, well, I haven't got one, so I'm going to get one. That's the way I was kind of thinking. Bit of muck on the screen there, apologies for that. I'm trying not to just be a completist about it and just buy every single iPod that was ever made. Or even worse, decide I need to buy every single 6th gen Nano now I've got one and have fallen in love with it. But let me tell you why. First of all, I think it's just a perfect balance of physical buttons and on-screen mucking about. There's this clip which is spring-loaded to attach, which is on like the iPod Shuffle 2nd gen, etc. But you basically got your on button, volume buttons, and that's it. I think that's just what you need. If I press the on button, there we go. I'll just press it once rather than twice. And look, we've got this fantastic touchscreen that we can flip our way through. Starting now playing, I'm going with album art embedded, which is working well, I think, for most things. A bit of OMD there. And yeah, embed your album art I use Music Bee and embed it via that, and then it shows up pretty consistently, which is great. Music for, well, your music is, it's got Genius Mix on here, which is not something I use, but I know it's a thing people like. The usual menu, iTunes U, whatever that was, nobody ever knew. I've got some podcasts there which I'm going through. Radio, which is fabulous, and if, as I intended, I brought some headphones out with me, I could have demonstrated that, because obviously it uses the headphone cable as an aerial, but that's pretty fantastic actually. You've got radio on the go wherever you may be. The Nike Fitness thing, which is not something I've used yet, but it's there. I probably will have a go at it. You can put in your height and your weight and so on, and motivate yourself. You can set it like a motivating tune, all sorts. The clock. Look, a clock. There are other clocks to choose. I'll show you that later. Now, by coincidence or by divine providence or something, just after I bought this, my watch stopped working at 7 o'clock almost precisely. When I bought this watch, I have my requirements for watch, I need them to have numbers on. I like a second and I like a date, although I very rarely use the date. I bought more than one. And I thought, okay, if that battery's gone, I'll just get my other one. But the other one had been going as well. So that got me thinking about this, because the clock faces on here, it's like, I'm not really ever been interested in the Apple Watch, but if you wanted an Apple Watch, you're going to be shelling out a fair penny. I think there's an SE3 version that's £219. There's a Series 2, is it? £369, or you can go for the Ultra 3 Apple Watch, which is 700, count them, and £49. Now this iPod Nano cost me £16. And I thought, well, it was launched in 2010, so it's only 15-year-old technology. It's not that old. It's got most of the features that you're looking for in something like this. You can have photos on it, you can have podcasts on it. And in the settings, if you look at the in about, I think it is, you've got, so it's 8 gig. There was a 16 gig version, but I do not have that. Somewhere in the settings there is, in general, I think, change your wallpaper, change your home screen, date and time. You can change your clock face. Now, some of you may be very complacent about this kind of stuff, but to me, this is all wondrous. Never really fancied a Mickey Mouse watch because, as I say, I prefer the numbers, but you can go digital, you can go digital also, Kermit the Frog, I believe. I'd probably go for something simple like that with a few numbers, or that, another drip there, do you get that? So set the clock face, I believe that's set now, is it? Let's go back to the clock. And it struck me that this would make a very passable imitation Apple Watch. So I went on the eBay and I saw a description of what was described, and I want to be absolutely fair to the seller, as I'll hold this down for you. That's not very professional, is it? An orange iPod 6th generation watch strap and screen is what it was described as. An orange iPod 6th gen watch strap and screen. Now there were 2 listed, and the second one was slightly cheaper than the first. So like a cheapskate, I've told about this before, I went for the second one. It was in some packaging that looked like that, but I thought it's just from Japan. But it turned out that this is in fact a book all about business practices, and it's not something I'm going to get much use of. To be fair to the seller, I think it was some kind of multi-seller that was selling lots of things, and what had probably happened is that they'd listed an iPod watch strap, an orange iPod watch strap, and then forgot to change the title in the description. And if I bought the one that was a quid more, I would have got a rather seemly, attractive, well-designed iPod 6th Gen Nano watch strap, but I didn't. So in a fit of annoyance, you still there? In a fit of annoyance, I just went and bought the next best thing, which turned out to be this. It's come in its own little box, which I'll probably throw away. It's a flexible wristband. It's the Slap trademark for the iPod Nano, made by Griffin. One of those fun slap bands. I mean, it does say iPod Nano 6th generation, so it's built for purpose. And it looks like it's probably rather chunkier than you would want ideally, but it's got the power button, the volume button, space for the headphone jack, and this slides very neatly into there. You'll have to take more effort, and then this, you kind of slap it on your wrist. I did find another watch which I'm using as a watch, but it slaps on like that, and you can wear it on that hand. It is probably bigger than is ideal, but you know, it does the job. I'll not force that in there just now, but it does slip in rather nicely, and I am in love with this thing. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I was going to have one, this is ridiculously embarrassing, but I was just going to have one minor criticism, was that I thought the orientation of the clock face was wrong, but I just googled that, and you can twist it around with your 2 fingers. You can just move it around like that. So that's obviously got twisted round, and I wanted it round this way. There we go. So I'm going to have some fun playing with that. As I say, it's got all those features. It's got your classic 30-pin power. It's got your headphone jack. I mean, I just think it's really clever that they've kind of fitted all that into such a small space. And I'm going to stick that onto my wrist and feedback on how much fun that is, because I think that's a lot of fun. So apologies, Ipod Nano, all is forgiven. Let me just fill in with the other ones I haven't got now and tell you what I think of those. Obviously the main thing with it is it gives you portable music, so you can put your audiobooks on, you can put your songs on, you put your albums on. Let's just go to, what a bit of Kiki D, why not, Amaras. Absolutely, I love it. Ipod Nano, enjoy your lives, enjoy your music, see you next time, goodbye. Just a quick update, I'm coming from the rain. Just to show you that the radio does work with an appropriate lead plugged in. I don't know if you can hear that, that's radio 4 going. Which just in itself, just to be able to have a radio, I suppose people can do it on the phone, can they? I don't know, but I think that's fantastic. Apparently, if you plug in an appropriate headphone, you get a voice memo app comes up, but I'm unable to confirm that. This screen, by the way, apparently it's lower resolution than the previous one, but it's got a higher pixel density. Still think it looks nice. Yeah, I think the radio by itself, if I could have a radio just strapped to my wrist all the time, I'd buy it for that. Anyway, I'm drying out and signing off. Bye-bye.